Welcome back to ESPN for Hondas, guys. Just kidding. I'm Robbie, that's Travis, and welcome to I Refine Movement, episode 3. That comment was on our first video, Dylan. That was freaking hilarious, man. Like, oh my God. I was like, yes, ESPN for Hondas. Thank you all so much for watching that first episode. We just released it, and by the time we're making this, and very happy with what happened. Thank you all so much for participating, and we're just going to keep it rolling now. So we got another great episode for you today. And on today's episode, is the new Civic Si really an SI? Evasive Motorsports is getting into research and development on the new CTR, and we take more of your YouTube comments. So, Travis, is the new Civic Si really an SI? 2017 Civic Si, 1.5 liter turbo engine with 205 horsepower and 192 pound-foot of torque.
That sounds awesome to me. I don't know what people are talking about having an issue with it. I guess I understand, the turbo 1.5 liter being a different route for Honda. But new generations of Hondas, turbos are taking over. Like the new Accord has a turbo and no V6, So that's
right.
It's the way of the future. And I in my opinion, I think this new SI is awesome, and I think it's moving the SI brand forward, just like Honda is moving the whole brand forward. And I think the car goes back to its roots of really good handling. What we think of as 90s Civics are really fun cars, and they handle really well. I think that is what this SI is bringing back to the table.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, man. And I do agree with you in the sense that, this is just the way that Honda is moving. And the SI is obviously the sport injected car, that's the flagship sporty model. And in my opinion, if Honda deems this as the new SI, then yeah, it's the new SI. I mean, what can you do about it? I think like you said, the biggest gripe that people have is that the VTEC is gone. And, for a lot of people, that's like sacrilege, man. Like, what SI has not had some form of VTEC? I mean, granted, some had, I'd say maybe the purest SI, at least in my mind, is that EM100 SI. I mean, that's kind of like that flagship, at least that from people my age, our age, in our 30s, we're going to consider that to be the flagship. But like Travis said, turbos are the way. It's crazy to think of a Honda production car with a turbo, but that's just the way it goes now. I feel like even when the WRX and the Mitsubishi Evo were popular, Honda was like in a world of its own. Like they had nothing to do with the turbo, and I almost expected them to come out with a turbo SI then. But so this car really is just different, you guys. Like if you look at the old 00 EM1 SI, that one really, like Travis said, it's about that handling, and really I think what stands out is that really high revving engine. Like not much horsepower, 160 horsepower, but B series, double overhead cam that everyone wants, and independent suspension. Like it's a solid car, man, and everyone thinks of that one. And then even getting into the other ones, but with this new car, I really feel like they want to make more of a daily driver. Like they want that nice, comfortable car that still has the power and you can have fun on the street.
I mean, that's what I think. When I think of the Civic Si, even the last generations, it's all about a car that's very daily drivable, but is fun.
Yeah.
It's not a car that's going to beat you to crap like what I've heard some people say is with the WRX, like the STIs are like. They're
really?
stiffer, they're more aggressive, because I think they're more on par with what the new Type R is going to be.
It's a hardcore
street car, and I think the SI is just dialed back, and it's a fun car. It's not like a race car, but it's a fun car.
Gotcha. Like from what like the road tests and stuff that I've seen people doing on YouTube, like they're really talking about, how it's just a nice place to be. You know, it's not so focused on just the engine, just the suspension. It's just an overall nice place to be. So I pretty much think it comes down to, at least in my opinion, you guys, like when you grew up with this car. Like I said before, like I'm 30 years old now, you know, for me, I grew up with the '00 Civic Si. Like right when I was getting my driver's license is when that car was still new and popular. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is an SI sporty, blah, blah, blah. Like that's what I wanted, you know? So thinking of this new car as an SI, like I get it. It's different. It really is. Like a turbocharged Civic Si is like, what? Like that really seems weird. And to not have VTEC, it's Honda's supposed signature piece of, you know, technology that surrounds this engine that everyone wants from these 90s Hondas is gone. And I get that that disrupts a lot of people. But, you know, this is just Honda's way forward. And like it or not, this is the way they are going to do it.
And speaking of VTEC, who cares? I'm going to say it. Who cares?
I mean, when you think of VTEC now, it really is old
It's
technology.
old. It's old news, people. We got to get on the bandwagon and get some new stuff going. Because VTEC's cool, but watch out, guys.
Trav, hold on, I'm hiding from the comments. Hold on, Trav.
I mean, I will be honest. I have never owned a car that has the real full-on VTEC. And sure,
right.
I aspire to put that in my Civic because that is going to be a better engine to race, and it's just a better engine overall. But, you know, power-wise, it's not like you're just shooting a 70 shot of NOS or it's just not that big a deal. You know, we gotta
not going fast and
right.
furious.
We have to take it into perspective because most manufacturers now they all do a form of VTEC, and
it's true. Everyone has.
And it is. It's old news, and that's
so. It's older, but even in the K series, they still used it, right? I mean, supposedly the K series is the pound for pound #1 4-cylinder engine out
right.
there,
I mean, I don't know what they're doing with the current K series. I know on the Type R they still have VTEC with the turbo. That's what my understanding is. They don't have it on the SI because it's detuned.
I'm not familiar,
but I'm pretty sure it's still on the 2-liter Type R engine, the newest one. They still have VTEC. You know, it's still a valid technology because you know you're not using so much fuel when you're not at high RPMs. But you know, I think it's not the end all be all. Oh, Honda doesn't have VTEC now in their SI. Oh, it's not an SI.
Yeah. I do agree
just
with
get
that.
over it. Like, you can't. I think you can't comment on that car until you drive it.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, how can you form an opinion on something unless you've done it? So, yeah.
But I do that all the time.
And,
you know, I just did it right now, so it's fine.
But so it is funny too because you know we say like, oh, VTEC is an old technology. Turbochargers are even older technology, but it's just now really in the forefront of every production car. Like before there was certain cars that had turbos always, you know, but now it's almost like every single car manufacturer has a production turbo
It's just
car.
you get more power and you use less fuel, and that's what we all want. We want more power, and we don't want to keep going to the gas station. So
Right. So you guys tell us, what do you think? Have you formed your own opinion? Have you driven this car? Let us know. You know, do you own a new Civic Si? Let us know what you think of it. Just in general, put your comments below, guys. We want to hear what you have to say. Next subject, Evasive Motorsports actually got a CTR, and in these photos here that you'll see, they are actually going and doing their own research and development. They've had this thing out on track, and they said that there are some things that they really love about the car and some things that they don't. So, you know, here comes the future of their business, right? So, Trav, what do you think of these pictures?
I'm just super pumped. I don't know. I wish I could buy a Type R. Let's just start there.
Yes.
Because new Civic Type R is the coolest thing to happen to Honda in a long time, you know?
It really is, man. It really is.
And so, but I think it's what the Type R is bringing to America now is that all of the Honda tuning companies are revitalized, because the last decade of Honda has kind of been a slump, I think, for general sportiness and people being enthused about modifying their cars. So like all of these companies that made their business about modifying their car, this Type R is going to bring them years, decades of business because of this of the performance. Like, oh my gosh, like I can't even. I'm pumped. I think it's going to be great to see Evasive do whatever they do. I know Hybrid Racing has a Type R as well. They bought one, and I know Sheepy. I don't know if you guys have seen his turbo builds in Honda tuning, but he has bought one as well. So a lot of guys in the scene have bought Type Rs and are going to make parts and do crazy things with these cars. It's going to be sweet.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of guys who are responsible for making these parts, they're jumping on these cars. That's the important thing about what you just said there, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we know that it's been all K series for what, the past 5 years at least. I mean, it's
maybe I think at least 10 years. It's K series.
Well, so K series like madness. Like everyone has to have a K series. Like Hybrid Racing, Evasive. They've been making their living off of this one engine swap essentially because everyone wants it so bad, and I get it. But here comes the new generation, you guys. Like Trav said, I mean, this CTR is bringing a whole new world of excitement back into the Honda community, because I totally agree with you, Trav. Like the past few years of the EM series, especially of the Civic, and even the past 2015, 2014, like people just don't seem to be as into modifying those cars, at least from what I have seen, daily on the road. They're just not as into modifying those cars. But all of a sudden, here comes this new turbocharged engine, all new body styles. Like from what I understand, even the Accord has a detuned Civic Type R engine.
Yeah, that thing's going to be sweet. I mean, if you have a family and you need more space, and just get that car.
And you still need to whoop ass on the street.
That car's going to be sick.
So, here that comes, you guys. Like, Hybrid Racing is going to take this engine, start figuring out how to fabricate the mounts, and put them into mass production. And I don't know if the CTR engine is going to make its way into a 90s Honda. Yeah, someone's going to do it. Someone will do it.
I'm sure someone's already got working on that shit, which is crazy. But I know that there are some wrecked Civic Type R's out there already. So
that's crazy. This thing just came out. But I mean, I get it. People are excited, right? Their foot is planted. So those parts are going to be fabricated. And, if you have a newer Civic generation, a newer Accord, I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing these mounts coming where you're going to be able to put these turbo engines into the near past generations of those cars. All right, so guys, so I mean, what do you think? Can you see a CTR engine going into, I don't know, like a 90s Civic or any type of Civic platform that seems like maybe like, whoa, this could be a challenge? Like, do you see that happening? And for any of you guys who have newer Civics, what do you think? Would you buy some of these newer mounts that these guys are going to come out with and start thinking about, taking these swaps out of these newer cars and putting it in yours? Go ahead and comment below. Let us know what you think. Moving on to the last segment of the day, you guys. YouTube comments and questions. So this one comes from David Texugo. I hope I'm saying your name right. I don't know the prices of cars in the USDM, but isn't it possible to get a good S2000 for $15,000? Want to drive the thing? If so, S2000 all the way. Want to cash in on a resale, buy the Civic, park it, and wait. What do you think, Trav? Would you do, for $15,000, do you do S2000 or this mint Civic EM1?
I'd have to say I'd just go straight for an S2000. That's that's not even a guess. I mean, I have a Civic, so I guess it's hard to say. But really, when you get a Civic of an EM1 Civic, it's basically a two-seater. I mean, sure, people can sit in the back, but it's not too comfortable. So I mean, getting an S2000, you're getting this performance machine that Honda made and it is amazing with an amazing engine, and it's a convertible, and it's tuned suspension to, you know, to have a great rear wheel drive car, and you can take that to the track bone stock and have a great time.
Yeah.
So I think I would definitely do that for sure, because I've seen S2000s in that price range, 10 to 15,000. You can get a decent one, and
they'll have some miles on it though, right? I mean, it'll probably be like 100,000 miles or
I'd
more.
say maybe for 15, I'd say getting up to close to 100. Yeah. But you know, for a Honda, that ain't a thing, and
sure.
I think, you know, it's all about what you want to do with it and what kind of car you want, because. Yes. You know, this $15,000 EM1 thing, you know, everybody's been commenting on that, and my opinion is that car is brand new. And if you wanted to make a Civic brand new, you're going to spend roughly $15,000 making an old beat up Civic brand new again.
He's talking to you guys like paint job, full interior, like making the thing mint again. And yeah, I do agree with you, Trav. Like, you're going to spend a pretty penny to get that EM1 back up to spec. And, you know, I do agree with you, Trav, wholeheartedly. Like, if I had $15,000 in my hand and I had an EM1 mint Civic sitting over here, or 100,000 miles, 2000, I would go with the S2000 as well. The S2000 is just, while the EM1 is a special car, the S2000 is special just in a totally different way. And for our purposes, like, yes, for my purpose, like, you can take that S2000, go out on the track that same day, and it's going to be great. Not to say that the Civic EM1 wouldn't, but it's just a totally different experience. The S2000 rear-wheel drive, the engine is meant to do that. Suspension, I mean, it's just, it is ready to go. And yeah, I totally agree. S2000, you can get them, for probably 100,000 miles, 11, 12,000 bucks, something like that. I've seen them as high as $25,000, but they've got pretty low miles, like 50 or 60,000 miles, and that was a later date S2000. But so yeah, what would you guys do? You got $15,000 in your hand, cash money. You have a mint Civic EM1 sitting there. You also have an S2000, which, maybe it's got a little bit of miles to it, but it's an S2000. What do? Everyone's got their own opinion, you know? Some guys, they don't want to do the rear-wheel drive thing. They want the front-wheel drive Civic. Civic's just their thing. Whatever your reason is, let us know, you guys. We are very curious to hear, would you pick the S2000 or would you pick the EM1 Civic? Very curious to know. All right, you guys, so that's going to be the end of this episode. We sincerely appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for commenting and liking these videos. Yeah. Travis and I really enjoy making them for you, and we love trying to get you involved in the conversation more. We have stickers for sale at our website, which has a link below. You can purchase those through that, help support us. Please share, like, comment these videos, all that kind of stuff. It really helps us out, you guys. And we look forward to doing more of these for you. Regular vlogs on Monday are to come, and we will see you in episode 4 of I Refine Movement.